Hello friends, welcome to the class. Welcome to the class on Indian polity and constitution. As a part of Group 1 Tspsc Polity Constitution series, I welcome you all to the next session. In the last session, we have discussed few important and expected objective-based questions on fundamental rights. And today, continuing the same series, let us discuss about directive principles of state policy as well as fundamental duties. Friends, directive principles of state policy is discussed in part 4 of the Constitution from Article 36 to 51. Directive principles of state policy are certain philosophical principles to be followed by the state, that is both legislature as well as executive. These contain certain philosophy, moral values which the state should consider while framing certain policies or laws. These directive principles of state policy has been inspired from Irish Constitution. This directive principles of state policy, even though talks about certain philosophy, is very helpful for the governance of this country. This directive principles of state policy discussed in part 4 envisages Gandhian philosophy, socialistic philosophy and liberal thought within itself. Today in this class, we will look into some important objective-based questions related to directive principles of state policy. Now coming to the next one, fundamental duties. Fundamental duties are not part of the original Constitution. Fundamental duties are added by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976. 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act added Part 4A of the Constitution, Article 51 capital A, which deals with fundamental duties. Fundamental duties are those duties to be performed by the citizens. They are the duties to be performed by the citizens. As India or Indian Constitution inspired from Irish Constitution and bought this DPSP, fundamental duties are inspired from USSR or so-called Russian Constitution in the modern days or modern day era. Today in this class, we will discuss about these two important aspects of Indian polity constitution with the help of certain objective-based questions. Consider the following and choose the correct statement. First question is very direct. Consider the following and choose the correct statement. Statement number 1. In the statement number 1, we have DPSP, Directive Principles of State Policy, are compared to objective resolution discussed in Government of India Act 1935. Now friends, as you have already seen, objective resolution is nothing but is compared to preamble of the Indian Constitution. It is compared to preamble of the Constitution of India. So DPSP are not objective resolution. It is not compared to objective resolution. Of course, Government of India Act 1935 also discuss about DPSP, but not with this meaning, not with this terminology. According to Government of India Act 1935, it deals with DPSP as compared to instruments of instructions. Instruments of instructions. So this is wrong. So DPSP are compared to instruments of instructions as discussed in Government of India Act 1935. The source of DPSP to the Indian constitution is Irish. Absolutely correct. Just before we saw. So answer is B. B is the answer. See, we have inspired about this DPSP from the Irish constitution. See, DPSP may not be enforceable, but they are useful for the fundamental governance of the country. Okay. So the answer is B, 2 only. Consider the following and choose the correct statement. Again, correct statement, friends. Directive principles of state policy are not directly enforceable. Not directly enforceable. Not directly enforceable, correct. Article 37 talks about application of DPSP. It talks about application of DPSP. According to Article 37, which talks about the application of directive principles of state policy, it says DPSP is not enforceable directly. If it is not enforceable directly, then how it is enforceable? DPSPs are enforceable by a law or by a policy. A law made in the parliament or a law made in the state legislature or a policy given by the executive ensures the application of DPSP, ensures the application of directive principles of state policy. So this is correct. DPSP are not enforceable. See, fundamental rights are directly enforceable. Fundamental rights are directly enforceable, not DPSP. Directive principles of state policy ensures social and economic democracy in India. Absolutely correct. Fundamental rights ensures political democracy in India, whereas DPSP ensures social and economic democracy in India. Answer is C. Answer is C. Both the statements are correct. Which article of the directive principle of the state policy discuss about maternity benefit for the woman? See, DPSPs are certain instructions to be followed by the state. They are not enforceable. It is not compulsory for the state to be followed. But state with the help of a law or state with the help of a policy can apply the DPSP. When the state makes a law for the application of DPSP, that itself is called enforceable. Article 40 talks about organization of village panchayati. And this is made enforceable by 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act 1992. This is made enforceable by 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act 1992. Article 42 talks about, yes, maternity benefit for the woman, right? Humane conditions of workplace, humane conditions of workplace and maternity benefit. So according to Maternity Benefit Act, the maternity benefit for the woman is now maximum 6 weeks. So 6 weeks of maternity benefit is allowed in India. Answer is B. Article 44 talks about Uniform Civil Code. Uniform Civil Code. Article 47 talks about it is a duty of the state. See, Article 47 talks about 3 things. 1, it is a duty of the state to increase the standard of living of the people. It is a duty of the state to provide nutritious supply of food. And it is a duty of the state to ensure to take steps in the prohibition of alcohol, except for medical use. Okay, this is the answer. Consider the following and choose which of the following are Gandhian ideology discussed in DPSP. Gandhian ideology discussed in directive principles of state policy. Gandhian thought. So I told you, right? DPSP contains Gandhian philosophy, socialistic philosophy, liberal thought. Gandhian dream of India, socialism. What is the meaning of socialism? The equitable distribution of resources. Liberal thought, open society. Article 40, which talks about what? Article 40, organization of village panchayati. Gandhian thought. Correct. Article 47, providing nutritious supply of food, Gandhian taught. Article 43, cottage industries. Cottage industries. So all these three are Gandhian taught. C is the answer. C is the answer. All are correct. Which of the following are correct? Consider the following and choose which of the following statements is or are correct. Now look at this. Directive principles of state policy are the directives to be followed by both legislature and executive. I told the same thing in the introduction part. Correct statement. See, these are the directives to be followed by the legislature in providing laws, in making laws, and by the executive in providing or giving up policies. In the policy making and law preparation, these directives are to be considered. Midday meals program is linked to Article 47. Absolutely correct, Amma. Because I just told, Article 47 talks about nutritious supply of food. Nutritious supply of food. Now, midday meals program, presently this midday meals program is called Poshan Abhiyan. And this midday meals program is directly linked to nutritious supply of food for the school going children. Not only that, we have 5 rupee meals in Telangana. You know, Telangana government has recently introduced to provide 5 rupee meals for all the farmers, you know, and warehouses, near the warehouses and all. And few government hospitals in Telangana also has 5 rupee meal program. And we have Anganwadi centers where nutritious supply of food is given. So, midday meals is directly linked to Article 47. I told you before as well, I am telling you again. Article 47 talks about 3 things. 1, to increase the standard of living of the people. 2, it is a duty of the state to ensure nutritious supply of food. 3, and prohibition of alcohol except for medical use. The state shall take the steps in prohibiting alcohol except for medical use. Which of the following is or are part of directive principles of state policy? So, which of the following is or are part of directive principles of state policy? Living wage for the worker. Yes, living wage for the worker is part of DPSP. Is part of DPSP. Article 43 talks about this. Article 43 talks about living wage for the worker. According to 7th Pay Commission, the minimum wage per day, should be 375 rupees. The minimum wage per day is 375 rupees per day. That is the minimum wage we have according to 7th Pay Commission. 2, protection of monuments and places of public importance. This is also part of DPSP. Right? This is Article 49 of the DPSP. Says protection of monuments and places of public importance. Not only monuments and also places of public importance. Qutub Minar, Char Minar, we have Warangal Fort, we have other Red Fort, we have Golconda, and places of public importance, state legislatures, we have railway stations, right? We have also these bus stations, parks, all these are also public importance, places of public importance, Supreme Court, High Courts, etc. Rashtrapati Bhavan. So, both the statements are correct. People get confused with fundamental duties. These two are DPSP only, Directive Principles of State Policy. Yeah, very, very important question expected for the exam. Consider the following and choose the correct statement. 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act added 5 Directive Principles of State Policy. 44th Amendment Act added 1 DPSP. Let us see what are the articles which are added to Directive Principles of State Policy. Okay, now see, I'll be in chronological order. Article 38 Clause 2 added by 44th Constitutional Amendment Act 1978. Article 39E, Article 39F, Article 43A, Article 39 capital A, and Article 48 capital A. These 5 are added by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. What is Article 38 Clause 2? It is a duty of the state to ensure there are no income inequalities. Article 38 Clause 2. 39E and 39F talks about it is a duty of the state to ensure giving protection for women, children for their betterment. What is Article 43 capital A? Participation of the workers in the management. Right? The management should ensure that there is an active participation of the workers in decision making. Now, whenever the worker participate in the decisions of the management, the strikes will decrease. When the strike will decrease, the production will grow. When the production is growing, profits will come. When profits are there, bonus or salary of the workers will also get increased. That is the meaning. What is Article 39A? It is a duty of the state to ensure equal justice and free legal aid for poor. Free legal aid for poor. This article has been made enforceable in 1987 by bringing a law, National Legal Service Authority Act of 1987. What is Article 48 capital A? It is a duty of the state to protect the environment, flora, fauna, wildlife, etc. Protection of environment. All these are added by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. There is one more article called 43B. This is added by 97th Constitutional Amendment Act 2011. And what is Article 43B? Cooperative societies. It is a duty of the state to establish cooperative societies. So, 42nd Amendment Act added 5 DPSPs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Absolutely correct. 44th added 1. So, answer is C. So, this is very important bit for your exam. These are the very important information I am giving you. Please consider and note down in your books. Consider the following and choose the correct statement. Consider the following and choose the correct statement. The original constitution consists of 10 fundamental duties. At present, there are 11 fundamental duties. See, whenever any aspirant look at it for the first time, they think answer is C. But this is a wrong answer. You know why? In the original constitution, that is in 1950, there are 0 fundamental duties. It was in the year 1976, fundamental duties were added by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. And when it was added, there were 10 fundamental duties. So, Article 51 capital A consisted of 10 fundamental duties. So, this is wrong. Presently in India, we have 11 fundamental duties. Absolutely correct. So, answer is B. The 11th fundamental duty is added by 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 2002. The 11th fundamental duty is Article 51 capital A K, small k, according to which it is a duty of the parents and guardians to ensure they provide education to all the children between 6 to 14 years. Right? Between 6 to 14 years, it is a duty of the parents and guardians to ensure. See, 86th Constitutional Amendment Act is very unique. I'll tell you why it is unique. Let me take a moment to erase this. 86th Amendment Act 2002 has brought changes in 3 parts of the Constitution. 86th Constitutional Amendment Act has brought 3 changes in the Constitution. Part 3, Part 4, Part 4A. That is your fundamental rights, DPSP and fundamental duties. According to 86th Constitutional Amendment Act, Article 21 capital A is added. According to Article 21A, it is right of every child between 6 to 14 years to get free and compulsory education by the state. It modified Article 45. It modified Article 45, which talks about education again. It added the 11th fundamental duty. according to which it is a duty of every parent and guardian to ensure their child is getting education. Consider the following and choose the correct statement. I just told you this. 86th Amendment Act made changes to both DPSP and fundamental duty. Students, if you have understood this, you say this is correct. Because 86th Amendment Act brought changes in DPSP under Article 45. It modified Article 45. It brought the provision of early childhood care. 0 to 6 years. State shall ensure in protection of early childhood care. And fundamental duty, 11th fundamental duty is added. Fundamental duties are not enforceable directly. Yes, absolutely correct. See, like DPSP, fundamental duties are also not enforceable. Not enforceable. Right? Answer is C. Consider the following and choose the correct statement. Verma Committee was formed to bring ways of enforcing fundamental duties. Indian Penal Code is linked to fundamental duties. What a fantastic question this is. Very, very important. See, I'll tell you 3 things here. 1, don't get confused. Fundamental duties were added to Indian Constitution under the recommendations given by 𝗧𝗏 Committee. 𝗧𝗏 Committee. But these fundamental duties are not enforceable. See, as these fundamental duties are not enforceable, there is a question arised in 1999. What is the use of fundamental duties? If they are not enforceable, what is the use of fundamental duties? So in 1999, government came with something called Verma Committee and asked Verma Committee to give certain ways to enforce fundamental duties. Now, you know what Verma Committee said? It said there is an interesting observation by Verma Committee, according to which it said, what is the need for enforcing fundamental duties? Because they are already enforceable. What? They are already enforceable. Yes, they are already enforceable. How? Verma Committee said, if you look at the fundamental duties, I will read out few. Point number 1. It is a duty of the citizen to respect the national flag. If any person is not respecting the national flag, he will be punished under National Honours Act. 2. It is a duty of every person to respect the dignity of women. If any woman is not respected, a person is punished under Domestic Violence Act, Indian Penal Code, whatnot, 𝗵𝗪𝗺 Act, etc. 3. It is a duty of every citizen to protect the environment. If a person is not protecting the environment, he will be punished under Environment Protection Act, Forest Act, 1980, 1986, etc. Meaning, every citizen has to abide by the Constitution, follow and respect the dignity of the Constitution, also to uphold the integrity of India. If any person is going against the country and involved in terrorist activities, he will be punished under POTA Act, Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. There are already different laws in India which make fundamental duties enforceable, is what observed by Verma Committee. So, fundamental duties, though by the Constitution not enforceable, they are actually enforceable. So, Indian Penal Code in this way is linked to fundamental duties. I am repeating this. Verma Committee is appointed in 1999. On the recommendations of 𝗧𝗏 Committee only, fundamental duties were added to the Indian Constitution by 42nd Amendment Act. Article 51, capital A was added. When they were inserted, there were 10 fundamental duties. And presently, there are 11 fundamental duties. The 11th fundamental duty is added by 86th Constitutional Amendment Act. So, the answer for this is C. We have seen in detail about the concept related to directive principles of state policy and also fundamental duties. In the series of episodes, where we focused on Group 1 Prelims Tspsc. Till now, we have completed till fundamental duties, that is till Article 51 capital A. From here on, from the next class, I will be dealing with the union and state executive. In the next class, we will look into the concept and the objective type related questions linked to President of India, Vice President and Council of Ministers, Union Council of Ministers. So till then, I want everyone to focus and listen twice or thrice and make notes about whatever the concept we have discussed. Till then, keep learning. Happy learning. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.